I never loved her. She just made it impossible to leave. I wasn't supposed to hear that. I swear she trapped me. What choice did I have? My hand froze on the door handle. I stopped breathing. That was his voice. Calm. Casual. Like he was talking about a mistake. Not me. Not us. Not the life growing inside me. I stayed still, just inches away, like if I moved, everything would shatter faster. I'll fix it soon, he said again. I just need the right moment. Fix it. My fingers slowly curled into my palm. Fix what? Me. The door was slightly open. Just enough for his words to slide through and stab me one by one. Does she even know? Another voice asked. He laughed. Actually laughed. No. And she doesn't need to. My chest tightened so hard I thought I might collapse right there. I pressed my hand against my stomach without thinking. A silent instinct. A silent protection. I wasn't alone anymore. And suddenly, I understood. Everything. Every late night. Every distant look. Every moment he pulled away when I reached for him. I told myself I was overthinking. I told myself love wasn't always loud. I told myself he just needed time. I lied to myself better than he ever did. I'll end it clean, he continued. No drama. No mess. No mess. I bit my lips so hard I tasted blood. Was I a mess to him? Was I something to clean up? I wanted to burst through that door. I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw every memory in his face and ask him how he could say those things after everything we had. But I didn't move. I couldn't. Because something deeper than anger was settling inside me. Something colder. Something heavier. Silence. The kind that kills slowly. I just don't want her making a scene, he added. You know how women get. Women. Not even my name. Not even me. Just women. Like I was nothing special. Like I was replaceable. Like I never mattered. The air felt too thick. My lungs refused to work properly. And for a second I thought I might faint right there outside his office door. But I didn't. I stayed. I listened. Because pain has a strange way of keeping you awake. Are you sure she's not pregnant? The other voice asked. Everything inside me stopped. Silence. Heavy. Dangerous. Then his voice again. I'm sure. That was it. That was the moment my world didn't just crack. It collapsed. Completely. I looked down at my hand still resting on my stomach. My fingers trembled. Not from fear. From realization. He didn't even consider it. Didn't even think it was possible. Didn't even care enough to ask. I felt something break inside me. Not loudly. Not dramatically. Just quietly. Like something fragile giving up. I stepped back slowly. Carefully. Like I was walking away from a crime scene. Except the victim was me. My back hit the wall behind me and I slid down without realizing. The floor felt cold. Or maybe I just felt nothing. I don't know how long I stayed there. Minutes. Hours. Time didn't exist anymore. Only his words did. Repeating. Echoing. Destroying. She trapped me. I never loved her. I'll end it clean. I pressed my hands over my ears. But it didn't help. Because the damage was already done. Inside. Permanent. I laughed softly. A broken sound I didn't recognize as mine. Trapped him? I gave him everything. My trust. My time. My heart. And now, my future. And he called it a trap. I slowly stood up. My legs felt weak but they held me. Barely. I looked at the door one last time. Just one step. And I could walk in. Confront him. Force him to look at me while he lied again. But I didn't. Because something inside me whispered something louder than my anger. Don't give him the chance. Don't give him the satisfaction. Don't give him you. So I turned around. And I walked away. Each step felt heavier than the last. Like I was leaving pieces of myself behind. Memories. Laughter. Promises. Everything we built, or at least everything I thought we built. Gone. Just like that. I reached the elevator and pressed the button. My reflection in the metal doors stared back at me. I looked normal. Too normal. No tears. No redness. No sign of destruction. But inside, I was unrecognizable. The doors opened. I stepped in. And the moment they closed, I finally broke. Not loudly. Not dramatically. Just tears. Silent. Endless. Falling without control. I covered my mouth to stop any sound from escaping. Because even now, I didn't want him to hear me. I didn't want him to know that he won. That he destroyed me. The elevator reached the ground floor. I wiped my face quickly. Forced myself to breathe. I walked out like nothing happened. Like I didn't just lose everything. Like I wasn't carrying a secret he didn't deserve to know. The night air hit my face. Cold. Sure. Real. For the first time in a long time. I felt awake. Painfully awake. I reached my car but didn't get in. Instead, I leaned against it and looked up at the sky. I waited for something. A sign. A feeling. Anything. But there was nothing. Just emptiness. And clarity. I wasn't staying. I wasn't begging. I wasn't explaining. He made his choice without knowing the truth. And I would let him live with that. Forever. My hand moved to my stomach again. This time slower. Gentler. I've got you, I whispered. My voice shook but the words were steady. I won't let you feel this. A tear slipped down again. But this time, it felt different. Not just pain. Resolve. I got into my car and started the engine. My phone buzzed. His name lit up the screen. I stared at it. Just stared. For a long moment. My heart twisted. Reflex. Habit. Love, maybe. But then his words echoed again. I never loved her. My grip tightened. And I declined the call. The silence that followed felt louder than anything. But it also felt right. The phone buzzed again. And again. And again. I turned it off. Just like that. Cut. Clean. No explanation. No goodbye. Just like he planned. Except this time. I was the one leaving. I drove without thinking. No destination. No plan. Just distance. The city lights blurred as tears filled my eyes again. But I didn't stop. I couldn't stop. Because if I stopped, I might go back. And I refused to be that girl again. The girl who waited. The girl who believed. The girl who loved blindly. She stayed behind that door. Listening. Breaking. Dying. And I left her there. Somewhere between his lies and my silence. Gone. I tightened my grip on the steering wheel. A decision forming. Solid. Unshakable. I wouldn't tell him. Not now. Not ever. He didn't deserve the truth. He didn't deserve them. He didn't deserve me. The road stretched endlessly ahead. Dark. Unknown. But mine. Finally, a mine. And as I drove into that darkness, one thought settled deep inside me. He thought he lost nothing. But he had no idea. He just lost everything. I left without telling you. I whispered it to an empty room. No answer came back. No message. No call. Nothing. That silence should have hurt more. But it didn't. Because I already knew. He wasn't looking for me. I dropped my bag on the floor and locked the door behind me. The sound echoed. Final. Like something closing for good. I leaned against the door and slid down slowly. My body felt heavier than it should. Like I carried more than just myself now. I'm not coming back, I said softly. The words sounded strange. Unfamiliar. But true. My phone stayed off. I didn't want to see his name again. Didn't want to hear his voice. Didn't want to give him a chance to lie better. I stood up and walked to the small window. New place. New city. No memories here. No him. Just me. And the quiet. The kind of quiet that forces you to hear everything inside your head. His voice came back instantly. She trapped me. I closed my eyes. No, I whispered. Not anymore. I moved away from the window and sat on the edge of the bed. Everything felt temporary. Because I didn't belong here yet. But I didn't belong there anymore either. I reached for my phone. Turned it on. For a moment, I hesitated. Then I opened my messages. Dozens. All from him. I stared at the screen. My heart didn't race. It didn't soften. Just watched. What is this? One message said. Where are you? Why did you leave? Another. Answer me. Then another. Stop playing games. I let out a quiet laugh. Games. That's what he thought this was. I scrolled further. I'm worried. That one made me pause. Just for a second. Then I shook my head. No, I said under my breath. You're not. My fingers hovered over the screen. I could reply. I could tell him everything. I could send one message and change everything again. But I didn't. Instead, I typed slowly. Don't look for me. I stared at it. Read it again. Then I pressed send. My chest tightened. Not from regret. From release. The phone buzzed immediately. His reply came fast. Where are you? I didn't answer. Another message. What is wrong with you? I smiled faintly. Wrong with me? That question felt almost funny now. Another message. This isn't funny. Call me. I locked the phone, placed it face down, and walked away. That was my answer. Silence. I went to the sink and splashed water on my face. Cold. Sure. I looked at myself in the mirror. Same face. Same eyes. But something was different. Something had shifted. I'm done, I said quietly. And for the first time, I believed it. The next few days blurred together. I avoided people. Avoided conversations. Avoided anything that could pull me back. I kept everything simple. Wake up. Think. Survive. But the nights were different. That's when everything came back. Louder. Stronger. His voice. His laugh. His lies. I lay awake staring at the ceiling. I never loved her. The words cut deeper every time. Like they were fresh. Like they just happened. I turned to my side and pressed my hand against my stomach. A small movement. A small reminder. I'm here, I whispered. I didn't leave. Tears slipped quietly into my pillow. But I didn't cry out loud. I didn't break. Because something inside me was changing. Slowly. Pain was turning into something else. Something harder. Stronger. Control. I don't need answers, I said one night. The words surprised me. Because they were true. I didn't need him to explain. I didn't need him to apologize. I didn't need closure. I needed distance. I needed power. And I was starting to feel it. My phone buzzed again one afternoon. I looked at it. Unknown number. I answered. Hello. Silence for a second. Then his voice. Finally. I froze. Just for a moment. Then I straightened. What do you want? Pause. Longer this time. Where are you? I asked you a question, I replied. What do you want? His tone changed. Lower. Tighter. You disappear without a word and you're asking me what I want? Yes. Another pause. Come back. Simple. Direct. Like nothing happened. Like I didn't hear everything. Like I didn't leave for a reason. No. The word came out steady. Cold. Even to me. You don't mean that, he said quickly. I do. Stop this. I already did. Silence again. But this time it felt different. Tense. Uncomfortable. Good. You're overreacting, he added. That did it. Something inside me snapped into place. Clear. Sure. I heard you. His breathing stopped. I heard everything. No reply. No denial. Just silence. And that silence said more than any excuse ever could. You don't get to call this overreacting, I continued. My voice stayed calm. Controlled. You don't get to decide what I feel anymore. I didn't mean. Don't. I cut him off. I'm not interested in what you meant. Another pause. Long. Heavy. Then softer. Where are you? The question sounded different now. Not demanding. Not confident. Almost uncertain. I felt it. The shift. Small. But real. And I held on to it. Somewhere you can't reach. That's not funny. I'm not trying to be funny. Then what are you doing? I took a slow breath, choosing my words carefully. I'm choosing myself. Silence. Uncomfortable. He didn't respond right away. And for the first time, I didn't rush to fill it. I let it sit. I let him feel it. You'll regret this, he said finally. A warning. Or maybe a plea. I smiled slightly. No, I replied. I won't. And I ended the call. My hand didn't shake. My chest didn't ache. I just stood there. Still. Quiet. Strong. That was the moment I understood something. I wasn't running anymore. I wasn't hiding. I was stepping away. On my own terms. And it felt powerful. I placed my phone down and walked to the window again. The city moved around me. Busy. Unaware. Unchanged. But I wasn't the same. Not anymore. I won't be that girl again, I said softly. No tears. No hesitation. Just truth. I touched my stomach again. A habit now. A promise. I'll be stronger for you. The words settled deep inside me. Like a contract. Unbreakable. My phone buzzed again. I didn't check it. Didn't need to. Because I already knew. He would keep trying. Keep calling. Keep searching. But I wouldn't answer. Not anymore. Because silence was no longer weakness. It was my weapon. And I was finally learning how to use it. I turned away from the window, picked up my bag, and started planning. A new place, a new life, a new version of me. No past, no him, no lies, just truth, just strength, just control. And as I walked out of that small room, one thought stayed with me. Clear, sure, final. I didn't need him to understand. I just needed him to feel the loss. I need you to stay calm. Those were the first words I heard. Come? I'm not sure I can, I whispered. My fingers tightened around the edge of the hospital bed. Just breathe, the nurse said softly. Breathe. Like that would fix anything. Like that would change what I was about to hear. The doctor looked at the screen, then at me. Then back at the screen. That pause. It felt wrong. Say it, I said quickly. Just say it. Another pause. Longer this time. Then finally. You're not alone. My heart stopped. I know that, I replied. I'm pregnant. The doctor shook her head slightly. No, that's not what I mean. My chest tightened. What do you mean? She turned the screen toward me. Pointed. Look closely. I stared. Shapes. Movements. I blinked. No. My voice came out barely audible. That's not. It is, she said gently. My throat went dry. 2. She nodded. Twins. Silence. Heavy. Loud. Unreal. I stared at the screen again. 2 heartbeats. 2 lives. 2 pieces of a truth I hadn't even accepted yet. My voice broke. I can't do this. The words slipped out before I could stop them. The doctor didn't rush to respond. She just watched me. Waiting. Can you tell me what you're feeling? She asked. I laughed softly. Broken. What am I feeling? I shook my head. I just lost everything, I said quietly. And now I have this? This isn't a loss, she replied. I looked at her. Sure. It doesn't feel like a gain either. The room went still. The nurse shifted slightly but said nothing. Good. Because I didn't want comfort. Not fake comfort. Not polite words. I wanted truth. And the truth was, I was terrified. I'm alone, I said. The words felt heavier this time. More real. More final. You're not alone, the doctor repeated. I almost smiled. Almost. You don't understand. And I didn't explain. Because I couldn't. Because if I did, I would have to say his name. And I refused to give him space in this moment. Not here. Not now. I looked back at the screen. 2 tiny movements. 2 silent promises. Or maybe, 2 silent questions. Will you stay? My hand slowly moved to my stomach. I pressed lightly. Carefully. I didn't plan this, I whispered. No response. Just the steady sound of heartbeats. 2 of them. Strong. Alive. You still have options, the doctor said gently. That word. Options. It hit differently. Sure. Clear. Dangerous. I looked at her. What kind of options? She hesitated. Just enough. Choices about how you move forward. I held her gaze. Unblinking. You mean, ending it? Silence. She didn't confirm. Didn't deny. But I understood. Of course I did. That was the easy way. Clean. Simple. No complications. No reminders. No him. My chest tightened. I looked back at the screen. At them. And suddenly, it didn't feel simple anymore. I need a minute, I said. The doctor nodded. I'll step outside. The room emptied quietly, leaving me alone. With 2 heartbeats. And 1 decision. I stared at the screen. I don't know you, I whispered. My voice shook. I don't know how to protect you. A tear slipped down. I don't even know how to protect myself. The room stayed silent. But something shifted inside me. Small. Barely noticeable. But real. I heard him, I said softly. The words felt like a confession. He said I trapped him. My fingers curled. He said I was a mistake. Another tear. He said he never loved me. The words hung in the air. Heavy. Ugly. True. And then, something inside me broke again. But not in the same way. Not weak. Not helpless. Different. Stronger. He doesn't get to decide what you are. My voice steadied. He doesn't get to decide what I do. I took a deep breath. Slow. Controlled. I won't run from this. The words surprised me. But they felt right. I won't erase you just because he couldn't handle me. My hand pressed firmer against my stomach. You didn't ask for this. Silence. Then. I'll figure it out. A promise. Fragile. But real. I'll raise you. My voice dropped. I'll protect you. Pause. Long. I'll do it alone. The truth settled in. Heavy. But steady. I nodded to myself. Decision made. No hesitation now. The door opened softly. The doctor stepped back in. Have you decided? She asked. I looked at her. Come. Clear. Yes. She waited. I'm keeping them. Her expression softened. Are you sure? Yes. No doubt. No fear in my voice this time. Just certainty. Then we'll support you, she said. Support. I nodded. Thank you. But I knew the truth. Support wasn't enough. I would have to build everything myself. Every step. Every choice. Every sacrifice. And I would. Because now, I had a reason bigger than my pain. I left the hospital with a paper in my hand. A report. Proof. 2 heartbeats. 1 secret. I stared at it as I walked. My future. Right there. Small. Fragile. Unavoidable. My phone buzzed. I stopped. Looked at it. His name again. Persistent. Annoying. Unwanted. I didn't answer. Instead, I opened my messages. Typed slowly. Carefully. I'm fine. Stop calling. I stared at it. That was it. No explanation. No truth. No weakness. I pressed send. The phone rang instantly. I rejected it. Again. And again. Until it stopped. Silence returned. And this time, it felt like control. I walked forward. Step by step. No turning back. But later that night, everything hit differently. I stood in front of the mirror. Looked at myself. Then slowly. At my stomach. Nothing visible yet. But I knew. There, I whispered. My reflection didn't answer. But I didn't need it to. I'm scared, I admitted. Pause. But I'm not weak. That mattered. More than anything. I placed the hospital report on the table. Stared at it. Then turned it over. Face down. Hidden. Like the truth. Like him. Like everything I wasn't ready to face. I won't tell him, I said quietly. The words felt heavier now. More permanent. He doesn't deserve this. My jaw tightened. He doesn't deserve them. And just like that, the decision became something else. Not just silence. Protection. Distance. Power. I turned off the light and lay down. The room felt different tonight. Not empty. Full. Full of something new. Something uncertain. Something real. I closed my eyes. Took a slow breath. And for the first time since everything broke, I didn't think about him. Not immediately. Not first. I thought about them. 2 heartbeats. 1 future. Mine. And as sleep slowly pulled me under, one thought stayed clear. I wasn't just leaving him behind anymore. I was building a life he would never be part of. I don't need anyone. I said it so many times, it started to sound like truth. Are you sure? My reflection asked back. I didn't answer. Because I knew the difference between strength and silence. And I had built my life on both. Mom, look. I turned quickly. 2 small hands reached for me. 2 voices at once. 2 reasons I never looked back. I'm looking, I said, forcing a soft smile. They ran toward me, laughing, full of life I never thought I could protect. But I did. Every single day. You promised to watch, one said. I am watching, I replied. Always. I crouched down and pulled them close. For a second, everything felt simple. Real. Safe. And then, Mom? Yes. Why don't we have a dad? The question hit without warning. Sure. Direct. Dangerous. I froze. Just for a moment. But they noticed. They always noticed. You have me, I said calmly. That's enough. Pause. Other kids have both. I nodded slowly. I know. Did he leave? Silence. Heavy. Familiar. I took a slow breath. Careful. Measured. Some people don't stay, I said. Why? I held their gaze. Steady. Because they don't know how. Another pause. Longer this time. Then. Will you stay? That one. That one broke something deep inside me. But I didn't show it. I'm not going anywhere, I said firmly. A promise. Unbreakable. They nodded. Satisfied. Trusting. And that trust. It grounded me. Every time. Come on, I said, standing up. Let's go inside. They ran ahead. Laughing again. Like nothing happened. But I stayed behind for a second. Just a second. And let the question settle. Why don't we have a dad? Because I chose silence. Because I chose protection. Because some truths don't heal. They destroy. Mom? I snapped back. I'm coming. I walked in and closed the door behind me. Another day. Another version of me. Stronger. Colder. In control. Years passed like this. Routine. Structure. Discipline. I built everything from nothing. Every bill paid. Every decision made. Every fear handled alone. You never ask for help, someone once said. I don't need it, I replied. And I meant it. Or at least, I convinced myself I did. Why are you always so serious? Another voice asked one day. Because I don't have time to be careless. That was the truth. Careless people lose everything. I learned that the hard way. So I didn't allow mistakes. Not anymore. At work I stayed quiet, focused, precise. Your work is perfect, my manager said once. It has to be. You never take breaks? No. Why? I didn't answer. Because breaks give space. And space brings thoughts. And thoughts bring him. So I stayed busy. Always. Mom, can we go out? Not today. Why? I have work. Tomorrow? We'll see. I watched the disappointment in their eyes. Small, but real. And it hit me. Harder than anything else. I'll finish early, I said quickly. They looked up. Hopeful. You promise? I hesitated. Just for a second. Then, yes. And I kept it. Because they deserved more than survival. They deserved presence. And I was learning how to give that too. Slowly. Carefully. Without breaking. But at night, it was different. Always. The house went quiet. The laughter faded. And I was left alone. With everything I buried. I stood in front of the mirror again. Same habit. Same silence. You moved on, I told myself. But the reflection didn't agree. Because moving on doesn't feel like this. Empty. Controlled. So. You just hid it better, I whispered. That was the truth. I didn't heal. I adapted. I locked everything away. Every memory. Every word. Every piece of him. Untouchable. Or so I thought. Mom? I turned quickly. Yes. Can I sleep with you? Of course. They climbed into bed beside me. Small. Warm. Safe. Tell me a story, they said. I paused. Thinking. Choosing. Once, there was someone who thought they needed another person to be happy. They listened quietly. But they were wrong. Why? Because everything they needed was already inside them. Did they find it? I smiled slightly. Yes. Are they happy? I looked at them. Then away. They're trying. That was enough. For now. They fell asleep quickly. Peaceful. Unaware. And I stayed awake. Watching them. Protecting them. Protecting the life I built. No one gets to break this, I whispered. Not again. Not ever. The next morning started like any other. Routine. Control. Normal. Until. Excuse me. I turned. A stranger stood in front of me. Well-dressed. Confident. Familiar. Too familiar. Do I know you? I asked. He smiled slightly. I think you do. My chest tightened. Something shifted. Small. But sharp. I don't think so, I replied. But my voice. It wasn't as steady as I wanted it to be. He stepped closer. Not too close. Just enough. You changed. My breath caught. And suddenly, everything I buried started moving. Slowly. Dangerously. I don't know what you're talking about, I said. A lie. Weak. Obvious. He watched me carefully. Like he was searching for something. Or someone. You always did that, he said quietly. Did what? Pretend. Silence. Heavy. Uncomfortable. And then, I realized, this wasn't random. This wasn't coincidence. This was something else. Something I wasn't ready for. Not yet. Not now. I have to go, I said quickly. I turned. But his voice stopped me. Running again? That word. Again. It hit deeper than it should have. I turned back slowly. Controlled. Careful. I'm not running. Then stay. A challenge. Simple. Direct. Dangerous. I held his gaze. For a second. Then another. And for the first time in years, I felt it. Not fear. Not pain. Something worse. Recognition. And just like that, my past didn't feel buried anymore. It felt close. Too close. And as I stood there facing something I thought I left behind forever, one truth became impossible to ignore. I wasn't as untouched as I believed. And something told me, this was only the beginning. I didn't recognize him until it was too late. That was the worst part. Not the shock. Not the memories. But the fact that for 1 second, I looked at him like a stranger. And almost walked away. Mom, look. I turned quickly. Too quickly. And that's when I saw him. Standing across the street. Still. Watching. My breath caught. No. Not possible. Not here. Not now. I blinked. Hoping it would disappear. It didn't. He was still there. Real. Closer than he had any right to be. Mom? I'm here, I said quickly. My voice stayed steady. My heart didn't. Can we go? They asked. Yes, I replied immediately. I grabbed their hands. Both of them. Tight. Protective. Stay close. We started walking. Fast. Controlled. Like nothing was wrong. Like I didn't feel his eyes following every step. Are we late? One asked. No. Then why are we rushing? Because I said so. They didn't argue. Good. Because I couldn't explain. Not this. Not him. Not yet. Or maybe, not ever. I felt it before I saw it. That shift in the air. That presence. Closer now. Too close. Wait. His voice. Behind me. Clear. Familiar. Dangerous. I stopped. Slowly. Every instinct screamed at me to keep walking. But I didn't. Because running now would mean something. And I refused to give him that. I turned. Calm. Careful. Controlled. And there he was. Right in front of me. Different. Older. The sharp edges in his face softened. His eyes. They weren't the same. Something was missing. Or maybe something was added. Regret? No. I wouldn't assume that. Not yet. You're here, he said. Like he didn't believe it. Like I was something unreal. I am, I replied. Simple. Flat. Distant. Pause. He looked at me carefully. Studying. Searching. You changed. I didn't answer. Because that was obvious. Because I had to. His gaze dropped. And that's when everything shifted. He saw them. Both of them. Standing beside me. Holding my hands. My grip tightened instantly. A reaction I couldn't control. What? He started. Then stopped. His eyes moved between them. Then back to me. Confusion. Clear. Visible. Good. He deserved that. Mom, one whispered. I squeezed their hand gently. I'm here. Always. Are these? He began again. I cut him off. Not your concern. My voice didn't shake. Not even a little. His eyes snapped back to mine. That hit him. I saw it. Small. But real. I didn't mean. I know exactly what you mean, I said. Sure. Clean. Final. Silence. Thick. Heavy. He looked at them again. Longer this time. Carefully. Too carefully. Like he was trying to solve something. And I felt it. That danger. That possibility. That truth getting too close. We should go, I said. I turned slightly. But he stepped forward. Wait. That word again. Like he had a right. Like he could still ask me to stay. I didn't move. What do you want? I asked. Direct. No softness. No history. Just distance. Another pause. He struggled for a second. I saw it. And for a brief moment, surprised me. You disappeared, he said finally. Accusation. Or confusion. I couldn't tell. Did I? I replied. Yes. And? That stopped him. He blinked. Like he wasn't expecting that. Good. You didn't explain anything, he added. I almost laughed. Almost. Neither did you. Silence. Sure. Uncomfortable. He looked away for a second. Then back at me. Different this time. Less confident. Can we talk? He asked. No. Immediate. No hesitation. Please. That word. It didn't fit him. Not the version I knew. But I didn't let it affect me. There's nothing to talk about. There is, he insisted. No. My voice stayed calm. But my grip tightened again. Because I could feel it. His attention shifting back to them. Mom, who is he? One asked quietly. The question landed between us. Heavy. Unavoidable. I didn't look at him. Not this time. He's no one, I said. Clear. Cold. Final. That one. That one hit. I saw it in his face. The slight flinch. The tension in his jaw. The silence that followed. But I didn't take it back. I wouldn't. Because that was the truth now. He lost his place. Years ago. Without even knowing it. No one? He repeated softly. Yes. I finally looked at him. Steady. Unmoved. That's what happens when you walk away. Silence. Deep. Painful. For him. Not for me. Not anymore. His eyes shifted again. Back to them. Longer. More intense. Like he was trying to see something that didn't make sense. They look. He stopped himself. Good. Because I wasn't ready for that sentence. Not today. Not here. We're leaving, I said. I turned. This time I didn't wait. I walked. Pulled them gently with me. Step by step. Away from him. Again. But I felt it. That stare. That question. That growing realization. And it followed us. Like a shadow. Mom? Yes. Why did he look at us like that? I swallowed, carefully. Because he doesn't know us. That's weird. Yes. It felt weird. I know. We kept walking. But my mind stayed behind. With him. With that look. With that moment. Because something changed. I felt it. Unavoidable. This wasn't over. Not even close. Will we see him again? They asked. I hesitated. Just for a second. Then, no. A lot. And I knew it. Because as I reached the corner, I couldn't stop myself. I glanced back. Just once. And he was still there. Standing in the same place. Watching. Not moving. Not leaving. And that look on his face. It wasn't confusion anymore. It was something else. Something sharper. Something closer to truth. And that scared me. More than anything else. I turned away quickly. My heart racing now. Not from fear. From instinct. From knowing. From understanding what was coming next. Because I saw it in his eyes. That question. That doubt. That connection forming piece by piece. And I realized something I didn't want to admit. Silence protected me. Distance saved me. But now, neither of them would be enough. Because he wasn't just back. He was starting to see. And once he did, nothing would stay hidden anymore. I saw it in his eyes, the exact second he knew. And I wish I didn't. Because once that look appeared, nothing could go back to how it was. Mom, he's here again. My body went still. Not fear. Not panic. Something colder. Something sharper. I turned slowly. And there he was. Closer this time. Too close. Like distance didn't exist anymore. Stay behind me, I said quietly. Why? One asked. Just do it. They didn't argue. They stepped back. Trusted me. That trust. It made everything heavier. Can we talk? He asked. Straight to the point. No pretending this time. No. Same answer. Same tone. But something was different now. Because he wasn't looking at me. Not really. His eyes kept drifting. To them. Again. And again. And again. Stop looking at them, I said. Sure. Controlled. His gaze snapped back to mine. I'm not. You are. Silence. Tight. Uncomfortable. He didn't deny it this time. Good. Because I wasn't imagining it. You keep showing up, I added. Why? Pause. Longer than it should be. I needed to be sure, he said. My chest tightened. Of what? He didn't answer immediately. Instead, he looked at them again. Carefully. Slowly. Like he was putting something together. Piece by piece. And then, I saw it. That shift. That realization. That moment. His breathing changed. Subtle. But I noticed. Because I was watching too. Always watching. What are their names? He asked quietly. No. Immediate. Final. You don't get to ask that. His jaw tightened. But he didn't push. Not yet. They look. He stopped again. Like the words were stuck. Like saying them would make it real. Good. Let him struggle. Let him feel it. What do they look like? I asked. Calm. Too calm. He looked at me. Then back at them. Then at me again. And this time, there was no confusion left. Only something deeper. Something heavier. They look like me. There it was. Out loud. Clear. Unavoidable. Silence dropped between us. Heavy. Sure. Dangerous. Don't, I said quietly. But my voice, it wasn't as steady as before. Because I felt it too. That truth pressing in. That past refusing to stay buried. Tell me I'm wrong, he said. Not demanding. Not angry. Just desperate. That surprised me. More than anything. I'm not here for this, I replied. I turned slightly. But his voice stopped me again. Are they mine? Everything inside me froze. That question changed everything. And for a second, just 1 second, I wanted to answer. I wanted to throw the truth at him. Make him feel it all at once. But I didn't. Because that would be too easy. Because he didn't earn that. Not yet. You don't get to ask that, I said slowly. Each word measured. Controlled. I just did. And I just answered. Silence again. But this one was different. Charged. Unstable. You disappeared, he said again. His voice softer now. Less certain. And you never thought why? I shot back. I did. Did you? I stepped closer. Just 1 step. Enough. You said I trapped you. His face changed instantly. A crack. Small. But real. You said you never loved me. Another crack. Deeper this time. I heard everything. The words landed hard. No escape. No denial. Just truth. And he felt it. I saw it. That weight. That realization. That regret starting to form. I didn't know. Exactly. I cut him off. You didn't know. Silence. Long. Painful. He looked down for a second. Then back at me. And for the first time, I saw it clearly. Regret. Real. Raw. Too late. You should have told me, he said quietly. That one almost made me laugh. Almost. I should have told you? My voice stayed calm, but my eyes didn't. You made your decision before I had the chance. Another silence. Another crack. I was wrong, he admitted. Simple. Direct. But not enough. Not even close. Yes, I said. That's the only correct thing you've said. He exhaled slowly, like the words hurt. Good. They're mine, aren't they? There it was again. Closer this time. Sharper. More certain. I didn't answer. I just looked at him. And let the silence speak. Because silence, it forces truth out. And I saw it. The moment it hit him fully. The resemblance. The timing. The memory. Everything connecting at once. His eyes widened slightly. His breath caught. And then, he looked at them again. Not confused anymore. Not questioning. Knowing. And that look changed everything. Because it wasn't curiosity anymore. It was recognition. And something else. Something dangerous. Something I didn't want near them. Or me. We're leaving, I said. I turned. This time I didn't wait. But his voice followed. I didn't know. I stopped. Just for a second. Not enough to turn. Not enough to soften. I know, I replied. Quiet. Controlled. And that was worse. Because it wasn't anger. It was acceptance. Cold. Final. I would have. Don't. I cut him off again. You don't get to rewrite anything. Silence. Heavy. Final. I walked away. Step by step. Holding their hands. Stronger this time. More protective. More certain. Mom, one whispered. Yes. Why did he look like that? I swallowed. Carefully. Because he's realizing something. What? I paused. Just for a moment. Then. Something he should have known a long time ago. They didn't ask more. They didn't need to. And as we walked further away, I felt it. That shift. That balance changing. He wasn't guessing anymore. He wasn't confused. He knew. And that made everything more dangerous. Because now, he wouldn't stop. And as I tightened my grip on their hands, one truth settled deep inside me. I had kept the secret safe for years. But now, the truth had found him. And it wasn't going away. I didn't follow you. That's what he said. Again. And again. And again. But he was there. Everywhere. I just happened to be here. I almost smiled. Almost. Because coincidence doesn't look like this. It looks desperate. It looks planned. It looks like regret trying to catch up. Mom, he's watching again. I know. My voice stayed calm. Too calm. Should we go? No. That surprised them. Surprised me too. But I didn't move. Because I wasn't the one running anymore. He was. Even if he didn't realize it yet. Stay close, I said. I am, they replied. Always. I felt it again. That stare. Heavy. Persistent. I turned slowly. And there he was. Leaning against his car. Not hiding. Not pretending anymore. Just there. Waiting. Are you going to keep doing this? I asked. I walked toward him. Alone. I felt their eyes on me. But I didn't look back. Doing what? He replied. That tone. Careful. Measured. Ignoring the fact that you're following me. I'm not following you. You're not convincing. Silence. Short. Tight. He straightened. Looked at me properly this time. Not through me. Not past me. At me. I needed to see you again, he said. Simple. Honest. Late. You saw me, I replied. Now stop. That should have been enough. For the old version of me. But not anymore. I can't, he said. That word. Can't. It didn't sound like control. It sounded like loss. Good. You don't get to decide that, I said. I don't. No. I held his gaze. Unmoving. You lost that right. Pause. Longer than usual. He didn't argue. Didn't defend. Didn't interrupt. That was new. You're avoiding the truth, he said quietly. And you're late to it. Another pause. But this one. It felt heavier. More real. They're mine, he said. Not a question. Not this time. A statement. A realization. I didn't react. Not outwardly. But inside. Everything tightened. Say it, he added. I don't owe you anything. That's not an answer. It is. Silence. Sure. Uncomfortable. You kept them from me. There it was. The shift. The blame. I almost expected it. You gave me a reason to. His jaw tightened. I didn't know. You didn't care enough to know. That landed. Art. I saw it. That flicker. That guilt pressing in. I would have stayed, he said. The words came fast. Too fast. Like he needed them to be true. No, I replied. Flat. Certain. You wouldn't have. How do you know? Because I heard you. Silence. It. Painful. I heard exactly who you were when I wasn't in the room. That one. That one stayed. Hung between us. Unavoidable. I was wrong, he said again. Quieter this time. More real. I know. You don't believe me. I don't need to. Pause. He looked at me differently now. Not trying to convince. Not trying to argue. Just trying to understand. Too late. You think I deserve this, he said. I tilted my head slightly. This? Not knowing them. I exhaled slowly. Carefully. Measured. I don't think anything, I said. I just chose what was best for them. And that didn't include me? No. Immediate. No hesitation. That hit harder than anything else. I saw it. The way his shoulders dropped slightly. The way his eyes shifted. The way the truth settled in. Permanent. I want to fix it, he said. There it was. That word. Fix. Like everything could be repaired. Like time didn't matter. Like damage didn't exist. You can't. Why not? Because some things don't break loudly, I said. They just disappear. Silence. Heavy. Final. I'm not asking for you, he added quickly. That surprised me. I'm asking for them. My chest tightened. Just a little. But I didn't show it. They don't know you. I can change that. No. You don't get to decide that alone. That line. It almost sounded like the old him. Confident. Certain. But there was something missing. Power. I already did, I replied. And that was it. That was the shift. Clear. Undeniable. You felt it. I saw it. The realization. The loss of control. The understanding that things weren't in his hands anymore. Not even close. You're punishing me, he said. No. Then what is this? This is me protecting them. Silence. Again. But this time, it felt different. Not tense. Not sharp. Just quiet. Because there was nothing left to argue. Nothing left to twist. Only truth. And it was heavy. Mom? Their voice pulled me back. I turned slightly. They were watching. Carefully. Curious. Concerned. I'm coming, I said. I stepped back. Putting distance between us. Again. Where it belonged. This isn't over, he said. Not a threat. Not a promise. Just a fact. I know. And I did. Because I could see it. He wasn't going to walk away. Not now. Not after seeing them. Not after knowing. And part of me, a small part, didn't mind. Not for him. But for what it meant. Because I saw it. Every time he looked at them. Every time he tried to speak. Every time he failed to hide it. Regret. Real. Unavoidable. Growing. Slowly. Quietly. Like something eating him from the inside. And I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to fight. I didn't have to prove. I didn't have to break him. Because life already was. Step by step. Moment by moment. Look by look. Karma doesn't scream. It doesn't rush. It doesn't need attention. Just works. And I was watching it happen. Right in front of me. You're not going to stop me from trying, he said. I looked at him one last time. Come. Unmoved. Try. One word. Simple. Cold. Powerful. And I walked away. Not fast. Not rushed. Just certain. Because for the first time, I wasn't reacting. I wasn't surviving. I wasn't hiding. I was in control. And as I reached them and took their hands again, I felt it clearly. That shift. That balance. That power. It wasn't his anymore. Not even a little. It was mine. And I wasn't giving it back. Not now. Not ever. Because the truth didn't just find him. It stayed. And it was only getting louder. You lied to me. His voice wasn't calm anymore. It wasn't controlled. It was shaking. Bro. I didn't lie, I said. I didn't even look at him yet. You kept them from me. Now I looked. straight at him. And you gave me a reason to. Silence. But this silence, it wasn't empty. It was heavy with everything he finally understood. I need the truth, he said. Need. Not want. Not demand. Need. That was new. That was different. You had it, I replied. You just didn't listen. Pause. Long. Painful. I didn't know, he repeated. Again. Like saying it enough times would erase it. Like it would fix something. It didn't. You didn't want to know, I corrected. My voice stayed calm. Too calm. And that made it worse. Because I wasn't angry. I wasn't emotional. I was done. That's not fair. I almost smiled. Almost. Fair? I repeated softly. You want to talk about fair now? He swallowed. Art. I'm trying to fix this. There's nothing to fix. There is, he insisted. Those are my children. There was again. That word. Mine. Ownership. Claim. Too late. They're not a possession, I said. They're people. And I'm their father. The sentence landed. Heavy. Sure. Unavoidable. But I didn't react. Not the way he expected. Biology doesn't make you anything, I replied. Being there does. Silence. Again. But this one. It cut deeper. Because he knew. He felt it. He couldn't argue it. I would have been there, he said. Quiet. Desperate. I would have stayed. No, I said. One word. Final. Stop saying that. How do you know? His voice cracked slightly. There it was. That break. That shift. Because I heard you, I replied. I heard exactly what you thought of me. Another pause. But this one. It lasted longer. Because there was nothing left to hide behind. I didn't mean it, he said. That doesn't change the fact that you said it. I was angry. You were honest. Silence. It. Uncomfortable. And I let it sit. I didn't rush to fill it. I didn't soften it. I let him feel it. Every second. Every word. Every consequence. You should have told me, he whispered. There it was again. That attempt. That shift of blame. I stepped closer. Just one step. Enough. You think this is about what I should have done? I asked. My voice stayed low. Controlled. But sharper now. You decided who I was before I had the chance to speak. He didn't answer. Because he couldn't. You called me a trap. His eyes closed for a second. Regret. Real. Visible. You said I meant nothing. His jaw tightened. Bang. Good. You said you never loved me. That one. That one stayed. Hung between us. Heavy. Final. I was wrong, he said again. The words felt weaker now. Like they didn't carry enough weight. Because they didn't. I know, I replied. But that doesn't undo anything. Pause. Then. Tell me their names. The question came softer this time. Careful. Hopeful. Dangerous. No. Immediate. Clear. You don't get that yet. Yet, he repeated. I held his gaze. Steady. Unmoved. Maybe not ever. That hit. Art. I saw it. The way his shoulders dropped. The way his breathing changed. The way reality settled in deeper. They're mine, he said again. But this time, it didn't sound strong. It sounded lost. They're mine too, I replied. And I chose them. Silence. Again. But now, it wasn't sharp. It wasn't tense. It was heavy. Because he was starting to understand. Starting to feel. Starting to see everything he lost. I missed everything, he said quietly. Yes, he did. And for the first time, he admitted it without defense. Without excuse. Just truth. Yes, I said. You did. A long pause. Neither of us moved. Neither of us spoke. Because there was nothing left to say. Only things left to feel. And he was feeling it now. All of it. I want to be part of their lives, he said finally. I don't trust you. The answer came instantly. No hesitation. No softness. I'll prove it. You can't. Why not? Because trust isn't something you build from regret. Silence. Again. And I watched him. Closely. Carefully. Because this was the moment. The breaking point. The realization. You really won't let me in? He asked. His voice. It wasn't demanding anymore. It wasn't confident. It was unsure. And that was new. That was different. I already made my choice, I said. And it didn't include you. There it was. Clear. Final. Unavoidable. He exhaled slowly. Like the air left him completely. Like something inside him collapsed. And I saw it. That moment. That exact second. When everything hit him. Not just the truth, not just the children, but the loss, the years, the absence, the life he could have had. Gone. Because of him. Because of his words. Because of his choices. And it broke him. Not loudly. Not dramatically. Quietly. Deeply. Like something inside him gave up. I didn't know, he whispered again. But this time, it sounded different. Not like an excuse. Like regret. Real regret. Too late. I know, I said. And that was the worst part. Because I wasn't angry. I wasn't shouting. I wasn't blaming. I was just done. And that silence, that calm, that distance, it hurt him more than anything else. I can't change the past, he said. No, I replied. You can't. Another pause. But I'm here now. I looked at him. Really looked. For the first time in years. And I saw it. The difference. The change. The regret. The realization. All of it. But it didn't move me. Not anymore. That doesn't mean anything, I said. And that was the truth. Because presence now doesn't erase absence then. And he knew it. He felt it. He couldn't escape it. I won't stop trying, he said. I nodded slightly. I know. And I did. Because this wasn't over. Not for him. Not anymore. Because now, he had something to lose. And that changes everything. I stepped back, creating distance again. Where it belonged. Stay away from them, I said. Not loud. Not threatening. Just clear. I can't promise that. I held his gaze. Cold. Steady. You should. Silence. Heavy. Final. And then I turned. Walked away. Again. But this time, it felt different. Stronger. Final. Because I didn't just protect the truth anymore. I used it. And as I walked away, one thing stayed clear in my mind. He finally knew. And now, he would have to live with it. I hate the way he looks at them. That was the first thought that scared me. Not anger. Not fear. Something worse. Doubt. Mom, he's here again. I know. My voice stayed steady. But my chest didn't. Why does he keep coming? I didn't answer. Because I didn't have one that felt safe. He's watching us, they added quietly. I followed their gaze. And there he was. Again. Same distance. Same silence. Different eyes. That's what changed. Not his presence. Not his persistence. His eyes. They weren't searching anymore. They weren't questioning. They were feeling. And I didn't like it. Not at all. Stay here, I said. Where are you going? I'll be back. They hesitated. I'm not leaving, I added. That was enough. I walked toward him. Slow. Controlled. Measured. Every step felt deliberate. Every step reminded me. I wasn't the same. You're early today, I said. He looked at me. Not surprised. Like he expected me. I didn't want to miss them. That word again. Them. Not you. Not me. Them. I noticed. Of course I did. You don't get to talk like that, I replied. He nodded slightly. I know. That surprised me. Again. I'm trying to do this right, he added. There's no right way anymore. I disagree. I tilted my head slightly. You don't have that privilege. Silence. Short. But not tense. Not like before. Different. You're still angry, he said. I'm not. You sound like you are. I sound like someone who remembers. That shut him up. For a second. Can I talk to them? He asked. No. Immediate. Clear. Just for a minute. No. You don't even have to stay. I said no. My tone didn't rise. Didn't shake. Didn't soften. And that made it final. He exhaled slowly. Like he expected it. Like he deserved it. Good. You think I'll hurt them, he said. I think you don't understand what you already did. That landed. Quiet. But sharp. I'm not the same, he said. There it was. The line I was waiting for. The one I didn't want to hear. Neither am I. Silence. Longer now. He looked past me. At them. Again. And I followed his gaze. They were laughing. Running. Carefree. Unaffected. Safe. That mattered. More than anything. They're happy, he said softly. Yes. And I wasn't part of that. No. Another pause. I want to be. I turned back to him. Slowly. Carefully. No. You won't even consider it? No. Why? That question. It almost sounded genuine. Almost. Because I remember who you were when it mattered. He didn't argue. Didn't defend. Didn't interrupt. I see how you look at them, I added. His eyes flickered. Just slightly. And? It doesn't change anything. It should. It doesn't. Silence. Heavy. Because he knew I wasn't wrong. He just didn't want to accept it. I missed everything, he said again. Yes. You won't let me fix that? No. You're not giving me a chance. I gave you 1 year ago. That one. That one hurt him. I saw it. The way his jaw tightened. The way his eyes shifted. The way he didn't have a response. Because there wasn't one. I didn't know, he said again. But weaker now. Less certain. I know. And I meant it. But knowing didn't change anything. I see them, he said quietly. And I see what I lost. That was the first honest thing he said without trying to change it. Without trying to fix it. Just truth. And it shook something inside me. Just a little. I didn't like that. Not at all. They look like you, he added. I've noticed. A small pause. They laugh like you too. That one. That one hit differently. Because it wasn't about him. It was about me. And I didn't expect that. You don't get to notice things like that, I said. But my voice. It wasn't as sharp. And I hated that. I already did, he replied. Quiet. Careful. Honest. And that scared me. Because it didn't feel like manipulation. It didn't feel like control. It felt real. And I didn't trust real. Not from him. Not anymore. I'm not asking for you, he said. Again. Clear. I'm asking for them. I know. And my answer is still no. Silence. Again. But this one. It felt heavier. Because something inside me shifted. Not outwardly. Not visibly. But internally. A crack. Small. But dangerous. Because I saw it. The way he looked at them. Not with ownership. Not with ego. With something else. Something I didn't expect. Something I didn't want to believe. Regret. Real. Painful. Unavoidable. And it had a face now. I'll keep showing up, he said. Not a threat. Not a warning. Just a statement. I figured. And you'll keep saying no? Yes. How long? As long as it takes. Pause. Then. I'm not leaving. I held his gaze. Steady. Unmoved. That's your choice. And this is yours? Yes. Silence. Final. But not finished. Because I felt it. That shift again. Not in him. In me. And I didn't like it. Not even a little. Mom? Their voices pulled me back. I turned instantly. I'm coming. I looked at him one last time. Carefully. Closely. And I saw it again. That look. That pain. That regret. That something real. And it made my chest tighten. Not with anger. Not with hate. With confusion. And that scared me more than anything else. Because I knew one thing. Pain is easy to control. Anger is easy to hold. But confusion. It breaks defenses. And I couldn't afford that. Not now. Not ever. I walked back to them. Took their hands. Held them tighter than before. Are you okay? One asked. Yes. Why does he look sad? I paused. Just for a second. Then. Because he realized something too late. They nodded slowly. Like they understood. Even if they didn't fully. And as we walked away, I didn't look back. Not this time. Because I already knew what I would see. That look. That regret. That truth. And the worst part? It wasn't breaking me. It was reaching me. And that was something I couldn't allow. Because if I let it in, everything I built, everything I protected, everything I became, might not stay as strong as I thought. And that was a risk I refused to take. Even if part of me was starting to feel it. I heard every word you said that night. He froze. Not a small reaction. Not confusion. Complete stillness. Like his body understood before his mind caught up. You, what? He asked. Too late. Too slow. I was outside the door, I said. My voice didn't shake. That surprised me. I wasn't supposed to hear it. Silence. Heavy. Immediate. I stayed long enough to understand exactly what you thought of me. His face changed. Not defensive. Not angry. Just hit. Hard. I didn't know you were there, he said. That's the problem. I stepped closer. Not aggressively. Not emotionally. Just done hiding. You didn't know anything. He didn't move. Didn't interrupt. Didn't try to stop me. Good. Because I wasn't stopping. You said I trapped you. His eyes dropped. Instantly. I didn't. You did. I cut him off. Sure. Clean. No excuses. Silence. Again. But this one. It felt like pressure building. You said I meant nothing. His jaw tightened. Pain showed. Real. I was angry. You were honest. The words landed harder. Because they were true. Because he knew it. I was pregnant, I continued. That one. That one made him look up. Fast. Like it hit him physically. I was standing there, carrying your children. My voice slowed. Not weaker. Heavier. And you were inside, telling someone I was a mistake. He stepped back slightly. Like the space between us suddenly mattered. I didn't know, he said again. But it sounded broken now. Not defensive. Not protective. Just shattered. I know, I replied. That's why I left. Silence. Painful. I didn't scream. I didn't argue. I didn't even cry where you could see me. Each sentence felt like a weight. Dropping. One after another. I just disappeared. His breathing changed. I noticed. Because I was watching. I walked away from everything, I added. From you. From that life. From the version of me that believed in you. Pause. Short. But necessary. And you didn't even notice. That one stayed. Hung between us. Heavy. Unavoidable. I looked for you, he said quickly. Too quickly. I couldn't find you. You didn't look hard enough. I did. No. My voice stayed calm. Controlled. But not enough to question yourself. Silence. Again. But this one. It hurt more. Because it was true. I built everything alone, I said. I carried them alone. I became someone new, alone. My chest tightened slightly. But I didn't stop. And you? I looked at him. Directly. Cold. You lived your life like I never existed. He shook his head slightly. That's not true. It is. You don't know. I know enough. Another pause. Then. I know you didn't come looking for me with regret. That one landed. Art. I know you didn't wake up thinking you lost something real. His silence confirmed it. More than any words could. And now you're here, I continued. Looking at them like you suddenly understand everything. My voice didn't rise. Didn't break. But it cut deeper. Where was that understanding then? Nothing. No answer. No defense. Just silence. And for the first time, he didn't try to fill it. Good. Because he needed to feel it. All of it. I spent years rebuilding myself, I said. Piece by piece. Day by day. Without you. My throat tightened. Just a little. But I controlled it. I learned how to stand without needing anyone. I learned how to survive without expecting anything. And I learned how to protect what matters. I glanced toward them. Just for a second. Then back at him. And that includes keeping them away from you. That one broke something. I saw it. Clear. Visible. He didn't hide it. Didn't try to. They're my children, he said quietly. Not strong. Not confident. Just hurting. They're my responsibility, I replied. And I chose to take that seriously. Silence. Long. Heavy. I'm sorry. The words came out low. Almost lost. I stared at him. Waiting. Because that wasn't enough. Not even close. I'm sorry, he repeated. But this time, it was different. His voice cracked. Slightly. I didn't know what I was saying. I didn't understand what I had. I didn't realize. You didn't care, I said. Soft. Final. And that was worse. Because I wasn't attacking. I was stating. And he couldn't deny it. He didn't even try. I was wrong, he said. Again. But this time, it didn't feel like a line. It felt like truth. Too late. I know, I replied. Pause. Then. I would do anything to fix this. There it was. That desperation. Raw. Unfiltered. You can't. I can try. You can't. My tone didn't change. Didn't soften. Because this wasn't about effort. It was about consequence. I lost everything, he said. His voice dropped lower. I see them, and I know what I missed. My chest tightened again. But I didn't show it. Not this time. Not ever again. That's not my responsibility, I said. I know. That surprised me. He didn't argue. Didn't push. Didn't blame. Just accepted it. I know, he repeated. And then, silence. But not the same silence. This one felt different. Because something shifted. Not in me. In him. I watched it happen. Slowly. Quietly. Like something inside him gave in. His shoulders dropped. His breathing changed. And then, I saw it. The thing I never thought I would see. Tears. Not dramatic. Not forced. Real. Silent. Falling before he could stop them. And he didn't hide it. Didn't turn away. Didn't wipe them immediately. He just stood there. Taking it. Feeling it. Living in it. I'm sorry, he said again. But now, it sounded broken. Completely. And that hit differently. Because this wasn't the man I remembered. This wasn't the one who walked away. This was someone else. Someone who finally understood. Too late. And that's what made it hurt. Not for me. For him. I didn't move. Didn't speak. I just watched. Because this moment, it wasn't mine to interrupt. It was his. And he needed to feel it. Every second. Every regret. Every loss. I didn't know, he whispered again. But this time, it wasn't an excuse. It was grief. And I felt it. Not enough to forgive. Not enough to forget. But enough to understand. And that was dangerous. Because understanding, it weakens walls. And I couldn't afford that. Not now. Not after everything. I took a small step back, creating distance again, where it belonged. I told you everything, I said. Quiet. Controlled. And it changes nothing. He didn't argue. Didn't try to stop me. He just nodded. Slowly. Like he knew. Like he finally accepted it. I know, he said. I don't hate you anymore. The words came out before I could stop them. And that scared me. Because hate was easier. Hate was control. Hate kept everything clear. This didn't. You don't? He asked quietly. I shook my head. No. Silence. But not the same kind. This one felt different. Uncertain. Then what do you feel? He asked. I didn't answer immediately. Because I didn't know how to explain it. Not simply. Not safely. Nothing that changes anything, I said finally. That was the truth. And not the truth at the same time. Because I felt something. Just not something I could trust. I don't expect you to forgive me, he said. That surprised me. I know I don't deserve it. That surprised me more. Good. At least he understood that much. But I still want to be there, he added. Of course he did. That part hadn't changed. I know. And? I looked at him. Really looked. Not at the regret. Not at the pain. At the reality. You're asking the wrong question, I said. Then what's the right one? I exhaled slowly. Carefully. What do I want? Silence. Because that was it. Not him. Not his regret. Not his apology. Me. For the first time. It was about me. I've spent years making decisions based on survival, I said. On protection. On fear. He didn't interrupt. Didn't move. Good. Now I get to choose differently. Pause. Short. But important. And what does that look like? He asked. I glanced toward them. They were sitting on the bench. Talking. Laughing. Safe. Always safe. It looks like peace, I said. And I don't know if you fit into that. That one landed. Quiet. But deep. I can learn, he said. I can change. You already did. He blinked slightly. Confused. I see it, I added. I'm not blind. That was the truth. And saying it out loud. It shifted something. Because I stopped pretending I didn't notice. Stopped pretending it didn't affect me. That should mean something, he said. It does. Hope flickered in his eyes. I saw it. Clear. Immediate. And then. It just doesn't mean everything. That hope. It dropped. Fast. And I felt it. Not satisfaction. Not relief. Just reality. I'm not the same person you left, I said. And you're not the same person who said those things. He nodded slowly. I know. But that doesn't erase what happened. I know. Silence. Again. But softer this time. Less sharp. Less defensive. I don't need you to love me, he said. I don't expect that. That line. It felt honest. Painfully honest. I just want a chance to be there for them. There it was again. That request. The need. And this time, I didn't shut it down immediately. That scared me. Because hesitation meant something. You don't get to rush this, I said. I won't. You don't get to show up whenever you want. I won't. You don't get to confuse them. I won't. Each answer came fast. Certain. Clear. And that mattered. More than I expected. Then what do I get? He asked quietly. I paused. Because this was it. The decision. The moment. The line. I looked at him. Then at them. Then back at him. And I felt it. That shift inside me. Not weakness. Not fear. Control. Real control. You get nothing, I said. His face tightened slightly. Bang. Expected. For now. That changed everything. His eyes lifted. Hope again. Careful. Fragile. You get to wait, I continued. You get to prove that this isn't temporary. That this isn't guilt. That this isn't regret fading over time. Silence. Focused. You get to show consistency, I added. Without expectation. Without pressure. Without forcing your way in. He nodded slowly. I can do that. I know. That surprised him. You believe that? He asked. I believe people can change. Another pause. But I also believe change takes time. He exhaled. Like the pressure shifted slightly. Not gone. Just different. And them? He asked. Soft. Careful. What do they get? I looked at them again. Longer this time. They get protection, I said. They get honesty. They get stability. And if that includes you one day. I paused. Because that mattered. It will be because it's right for them. Not him. Not me. And that was the difference. I understand, he said. And for the first time, I believed him. Not completely. Not fully. But enough. And that was dangerous. Because belief, it opens doors. Doors I kept closed for years. I'm not promising anything, I added. I'm not asking for promises. Good. He was learning. Slowly. But real. I'm asking for patience, I said. You have it. I'm asking for respect. You have it. I'm asking for distance. He hesitated. Just for a second. But he nodded. You have it. That one. That one mattered most. Because distance, it meant control. My control. And I wasn't giving that up. Not easily. Not ever again. Then that's my answer, I said. Clear. Final. But not closed. And that was new. That was different. That was me choosing. Not reacting. Not protecting. Choosing. You're giving me a chance, he said quietly. No. I shook my head. I'm giving myself peace. That was the truth. The real truth. Because this wasn't about him anymore. Not really. It was about me. The woman I became. The strength I built. The life I created. And what I was willing to allow into it. I won't waste it, he said. I nodded slightly. Don't? Silence. But this one. It felt lighter. Not empty. Not tense. Just open. And I realized something. I wasn't angry anymore. I wasn't broken anymore. I wasn't even holding on to the past the same way. I was free. And that scared me. Because freedom means choice. And choice means responsibility. But for the first time, I didn't run from it. Mom? I turned instantly. Yes. Can we go? I smiled slightly. Yeah. I looked at him one last time. Not with anger. Not with pain. Just clarity. This is on my terms, I said. I know. And if that changes, I'll accept it. Good. He understood. Finally. I walked back to them. Took their hands. Felt their warmth. Their trust. Their everything. And as we walked away, I didn't feel like I was running. I didn't feel like I was escaping. I felt like I was choosing. Step by step. Moment by moment. And that was power. Real power. Not control over him. Not revenge. Not regret. Control over myself. And as I held their hands tighter, one truth settled deep inside me. I didn't need his apology. I didn't need his regret. I didn't need his presence. I only needed one thing. And I finally had it. Myself. I'm not coming back to you. The words didn't shake. They didn't hesitate. They didn't ask for permission. They ended something. For real this time. He didn't argue. That was the first sign everything had changed. I know, he said quietly. No fight. No denial. Just acceptance. And somehow, that made it heavier. I'm not choosing you, I added. I know. Another pause. But not empty. Not uncomfortable. Just real. I'm choosing myself. That one stayed between us. Not as a weapon. Not as revenge. As truth. I see that, he replied. And I believed him. Not because I trusted him completely. But because I trusted myself now. And that made all the difference. This doesn't mean you disappear, I said. His eyes lifted slightly. Careful. Hopeful. But controlled. You can be part of their lives. Silence. Because that mattered. More than anything. But not mine, I added. Clear. Final. No confusion. No space for misunderstanding. I understand. And he did. I saw it. Not in his words. In his stillness. In the way he didn't push. Didn't question. Didn't try to change my mind. You don't get access to me, I continued. You don't get my trust. You don't get what you broke. Each sentence landed. Not to hurt him, but to define me. To protect what I rebuilt. I'm not asking for that, he said. And that mattered. Because before, he would have. Before, he would have pushed. Before, he would have demanded. Now, he accepted. I'll follow your rules, he added. That's the only way this works. Silence. Again. But softer. Lighter. Not because it was easy. Because it was clear. Consistency, I said. Respect. Patience. You've said that before. And I mean it more now. He nodded. I won't mess this up. That sentence. It carried weight. Not a promise. A responsibility. We'll see, I replied. Because I wasn't giving him certainty. Not anymore. He had to earn everything. Step by step. Moment by moment. I'll take whatever you give, he said. I shook my head slightly. No. He frowned. Confused. You'll take what they need, I corrected. Not what you want. That shifted something. I saw it. That understanding settling deeper. Right, he said quietly. And that was growth. Real growth. Not loud. Not dramatic. But real. Mom? Their voices pulled me back. Always. Yeah. Are we leaving? I looked at them. Then back at him. This moment mattered. More than anything before. Come here, I said. They walked over. Close. Safe. Curious. Is that the man again? One asked. I nodded slowly. Yes. Why does he keep coming? I paused. Because this was it. The truth. Not hidden. Not twisted. Clear. Because he's learning something important. What? That some mistakes don't go away. They looked at him. Then at me. Is he bad? They asked. I exhaled softly. No. Not anymore. Then what is he? I held their hands tighter. He's someone who made a wrong choice. And now he's trying to be better. Silence. Small. But meaningful. Can we talk to him? One asked. There it was. The moment. The decision. The shift. I looked at him. He didn't move. Didn't speak. Didn't push. He just waited. And that mattered. Because waiting. It showed respect. It showed restraint. It showed change. Not today, I said. Gentle. But firm. Soon. They nodded. No arguments. No questions. Trust. Always trust. And I wouldn't break that. Not for anyone. Not even him. Thank you, he said quietly. I looked at him. No. He paused. Confused again. Don't thank me, I said. This isn't for you. He nodded slowly. I know. And he did. Finally. Fully. I'll be here, he added. Not demanding. Not pushing. Just present. I know. And I did. Because this time, he wasn't chasing. He wasn't forcing. He was waiting. And that was new. That was different. That was something I could work with. Carefully. Slowly. On my terms. Always my terms. I turned. Walked away with them. But this time, it didn't feel like escape. It felt like direction. Like I knew exactly where I was going. And exactly what I was leaving behind. Mom? Yes. Are you okay? I smiled slightly. Real. Not forced. Yeah. You don't look sad. I'm not. That surprised them. I thought you were before. I was. And now. I paused. Just for a second. Then. Now I'm not carrying things that don't belong to me anymore. They didn't fully understand. But they felt it. Children always do. They feel truth. Even when they don't know the words. Is he going to come back? They asked. Yes. Are you okay with that? Another pause. Short. Clear. Yes. And that was the biggest change of all. Because before, that answer would have been no. Immediate. Defensive. Close. Now, it was different. Because I wasn't afraid anymore. Not of him. Not of the past. Not of what could happen. Because I knew something now. Something I didn't understand before. I don't break the same way twice. And that was power. Real power. Not controlling him. Not punishing him. Not proving anything. Just knowing myself. Trusting myself. Choosing myself. I won't hurt you again. His voice reached me. Quiet. Careful. I stopped. Just for a second. Didn't turn fully. Didn't give him everything. Just enough. That's not your decision anymore, I said. Soft, but firm. It's mine. Silence. Final. And I walked away. Again. But this time, there was no weight behind me. No past pulling me back. No pain holding me in place. Just clarity. And as I held their hands and moved forward, I realized something. I didn't need his regret to heal. I didn't need his apology to move on. I didn't need his presence to feel complete. I only needed one thing. And I had it. I had me. Fully. Completely. Unbreakable. And as I looked ahead, not back, one truth settled deep inside me. I didn't lose anything that night. He did. And now, he has to live with that. While I finally live without it.